Let's get busy. Peace. Peace to everybody that's tuning in to the dribble. I got a special episode here. I've been waiting to do this. I have to complete the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? I've been running through all of these, these lyrical titans from the West Coast, man, and you were someone who was eluding me. And I really, really appreciate Mr. CR for putting us together. Tash, welcome to Gully TV.
Glad to be here. Shout out CR and the West Coast Creations.
No doubt.
That's my people.
Man, I got so many questions to ask you. So how about we go? I have to say this before we begin this. The first time I ever heard of the Alkaholiks, I didn't take it serious at all. I'm gonna tell you why. First time I ever heard of the Alkaholiks, a drunk nigga told me. He was a drunk nigga, drunk backpacker, devout hip hop head, but he one of 40-ounce backpack drinking niggas.
Where was you at? You was in New York?
On the East Coast now. We in Pennsylvania. My man Marcus Davis, MD. Shout out to MD.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My man MD. So he telling me, who he listened to. This in the early 90s. Telling me who he listened to. And he mentioned the Alkaholiks, and I'm looking at this nigga because he one of drunk 40-ounce drinking niggas and shit. You know what I'm saying? So boom, right?
Shout out Marcus.
MD. Yeah.
I might not be here on this show if it wasn't for you. That's what's up.
Yeah, MD brought you to the table, and MD his track record and his suggestions, they were always accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I didn't hear much from you. This was in the gangster rap era. This is when like Sibo and Spice One and them niggas is still dominating. But MD listened to what you would call backpack music. I said he was a backpacker.
Right.
So does that fit the description? Were you categorized in that backpack category?
We got put into that category, but we wasn't necessarily backpackers though.
I seen that on the Rap Life video.
Cause the whole thing is that Rap Life came way later though. You know
okay.
What I'm saying? But the whole thing is that we got put into the game. Before we got put into the game, we E Swift from the Alkaholiks, he got a job. You know what I'm saying? I was living with him and his pops and everything. We rapping and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like Jazzy Pha and the Fresh Prince. It was just Tash and Swift. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he got a job DJing for King T. And we was young as shit, you know what I'm saying? So that right there catapulted us into the cool crowd. Because King T was cracking right now, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, LA, he had the whole world on fire. He was going overseas and shit. And, Ice-T kind of co-signed that whole shit.
Yeah.
So we was just running at an early age, just all through, like, parties. And
so you from the King T umbrella?
The what? Yeah, King T umbrella. That's who put us in the game.
And King T would be categorized as gangster music, right?
Yeah, definitely. They say he's not the inventor, but he was the first one to really make some noise, I guess, on the West Coast.
Okay.
Other than Ice-T. Ice-T was, the pioneer for the gangster shit.
On the West Coast.
On the West Coast.
Right.
I know you gonna say Schoolie D.
I believe that to be accurate. Nah, I know the history on the West Coast. You on time.
Right. And then, but that whole, like, we was the hype man for King T. E Swift was the DJ and everything, so we was doing, parties, you know what I'm saying? We was doing gangster parties pretty much. And, when it came to our lane and shit, King T was our boy, so he would bring that crowd to our shit, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying, like, we didn't really run with we did though. I guess the backpack would be the fit, you know what I'm saying? We didn't.
So did you aspire to be a rapper, or the fact that y'all had the relationship with King T put you in a situation where you was like, I can do this?
Nah, I was rapping way before I met King T.
Okay.
But shout out to King T too. He was like the first. Him and Ice-T was the first people that was really on.
Yeah. That
really showed interest. You know what I'm saying? And we came out on King T's first single for his I want to say the Trifling album. I think it was a Trifling album.
Okay.
And he had a choice to put us. He went to his record label, Capitol Records, and everything, and said, "I got this crew." And that's back when everybody was, IT had the Rhyme Syndicate, and these people had, this person had this group or crew or whatever. And King T went to Capitol Records and said, I got this crew and they dope. And I want the first single to be with them so it brings shine to them. You know what I'm saying? So that's I Got It Bad. So instead of him putting the spotlight on himself for the first single, he put the spotlight on the Alkaholiks, and we got a deal right after that. You know what I'm saying? With Loud.
Okay.
A New York-based label.
Okay.
Steve Rifkin and all that. So
now, how did y'all get the moniker, the Alkaholiks? How did that come into play? Very
yeah,
interesting. It's not like that was
yeah.
some clever shit to say, like alcoholics, like niggas. I just told you about Marcus Davis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
nah, King T came up with that. He you know, he wanted to call the group because before that, we was I don't even want to say the name. It was called ESP, the Everyday Street Poets.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we ran with that. We didn't get no action with that. Like, it was just house party rockers though. Like people knew the words of the songs and shit because we say the same shit every party. You know
Okay.
And all this. And then like I said, King T came into the picture and he took us under his wing, and you know, it was from that point on it was King T and the Alkaholiks, and then we formed the Liquid Crew, and then came, you know, the Four-Eyes, the Exhibits, the Mad Libs, the Loop Pack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the era that I got real familiar with you. By then, y'all was in magazines and shit like that.
Yeah, we doing all that shit.
So, what did y'all do to get signed to Loud?
To get signed with Loud, I think the story goes. I know that Fabian Duvernay, we called him Fade, knew Steve Rifkin. I think he was already working at Loud because we was in the studio with this group called Madcap. And they was technically, I think, the first group that was on Loud. I think.
Okay.
But we went to the studio session where we knew them. That's from Pasadena. Shout out Joe and Coke and all them. And what we did was went to the studio, and Faye was at the studio, and he was telling us about this deal he got with Loud Records. Or he works at Loud Records. He got this deal for Madcap and this and that. And we just played our demo in the studio. But when you in the studio, you hear on the big ass speakers and shit.
Yeah.
It blew him away. And he said, man, I got to take this to the boss. And I was Steve Rifkin. Took it to Steve. And then shortly after that, I used to drink a lot. So, you know, a lot of shit. Like, I always tell people I don't remember shit past Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? But I remember distinctly that we signed real quick. We met him. He heard it. And boom, it was on. Like, he scooped us up. Like, you know.
Was that a part of the Alkaholiks image, drinking? I mean, I'm just asking.
that was
the 40-ounce era and shit. Like,
yeah, yes, it was. Like we was like, it was all fun to us though. You know what I mean? It was more like it wasn't a gimmick, but it was more like.
Nah, I just wanted to know, was it real? Was that y'all was on
we
that?
Party like the Black Beastie Boys.
Okay.
That's what we did, and you know we got the footage. Like it was before cell phone cameras and shit. But
Yeah.
They got we coming out with this documentary. I'm gonna trip. Like
No doubt.
We drank a lot, and you know it was all a part of the fans used to, you know, they used to love us to spray beer on them and shit.
Right.
And, you know, like we had a lot of white fans.
I picked
like,
up on all of it.
We didn't do it to the wrong crowd, but no, we did it to everybody. Now think about it, we sprayed beer. Yep.
What year was that y'all got signed Loud?
I think our first record came out in '93, so probably '92. Cause it was real quick. It was like real quick. We signed, boom, then.
So y'all was there before Wu-Tang Clan?
Right before.
Right before the Wu.
It felt like it was the same time period because it was so quick. You know what I'm saying? It was like we was gearing up for our first release or whatever it was.
Right.
And then they signed them, and then that's when we got familiar with it because they put us on a like we was all just brand new to the game. You know what I'm saying? So they put us on this bullshit like they call it a promotional tour.
Right.
So you going out for like 30 dates and you ain't getting paid for nothing. You ain't getting paid for no dates. All you can do is sell merch and hustle and shit.
Yeah.
Do features and shit. But they put us in the Wu-Tang Clan on the same tour. So that was their first tour, I believe, and that was our first tour. So, you know, we got to know them dudes real, you know.
Yeah.
I knew all about the Method Man working at Statue of Liberty and shit way before the documentary and all that.
Right.
But, you know, shout out to the Wu-Tang. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, like they considered now as, like, would you say the biggest group ever?
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
And I watched it from us freestyling in the back of the van to, you know what I'm saying, to where they at now.
Right.
Shit. And that's what I shout them out, man. Like,
When you first encountered them, and y'all got wind that y'all was label mates with a rap group that had 10 members, was that
I heard the demo, so I was already a fan. You know what I'm saying?
right?
Like I just said, it's gotta, you know, I just tripped because there was so many of them, you know. But the dope part is that everybody sounded different. Like it wasn't like like some groups that you could tell they hang around a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like not like that, but like EPMD. You know what I'm saying? It's cohesive because they rap similar. You know what I'm saying? Not the same, but similar.
Right.
But you know, they was all different. You had Old Dirty. That was the craziest shit we ever heard. You know, at the time, that was the craziest shit we ever heard. And you know, it just it skyrocketed. It was like they was out the gate. They was popping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, even on the tours and shit like that, they had to figure some shit out because early on, it was 10 of them and there's only like 3 mics on the stage, so they had to figure out who to pass the shit to with all this.
Okay.
But it was definitely an experience, man. It was dope though. Just I was there. That's what tripped me out. You know.
Right.
I'm like the Forrest Gump of this shit. Right?
So that would, being label mates with the Wu back then, that would probably, oh yeah, you said y'all was touring together and shit. Mm-hmm. So you was able to develop a great relationship with Raekwon.
Yeah, Raekwon is
and that's how Rap Life came to light. Is that how that was birthed?
Yeah, but I think it was because we was on the same label. Yeah. I think it was an idea and what I wanted to do with that song. Like basically, I had this whole other song that I was gonna drop by myself. You know what I'm saying? With nobody, no features, no nothing like that. And it was the same beat, the Snoop and I think Exhibit on it. The what's the name of the song? It's don't. I can't remember the name of it. Next episode, I can't remember. But anyway, they had the same beat, so we had to think of a backup plan immediately. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a couple calls and shit, and they hit him up, and he was with it. And we shot the video in LA, and I co-directed the video. The whole shit with the sharks and all that, and the dates on the lawnmower.
Listen.
That was all. I ain't get those co-directions.
We gotta talk about that. Listen, right? What was the budget for that video? I watched it recently.
That's what videos used to hit, man. Like they used to hit you. I think that shit was like 200,000. No, 120,000, some shit. I forgot. But Chris Robinson did that, but he was doing movies at the time.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is back before I was naive. I didn't realize all this shit come out your budget. You know what I'm saying? You got to recoup it and all this. So all them ideas I thought of.
Nah, I think it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it.
But
fuck that budget. But
it was like you had to watch it back then, cause just like that little shark that you seen, the great white in the pool.
That was a real shark?
No, hell no. But that was like, that's what I asked you. I said I want to get a scene where I got a shark in my swimming pool in the backyard and all that shit. I didn't know that shit was gonna cost me $15,000. Right. They got some fake shark from like Universal Studios or somewhere. And pulled up with this big ass semi rig and shit. You know that shit. And I never even questioned how much it cost or no shit like that. But that shit was in the video. If you blink, you missed the motherfucker. Yeah. But that was $15,000 more I had to pay back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I wasn't thinking budgets and shit. You know?
So Chris Robinson really had a fucking tractor with Dayton's on it?
Nah, that was me.
Y'all went and got a fucking tractor and put Dayton's on it?
Yes, it just happened that Dayton's and shit, they got the, you know, the knockoff ears and shit and all that. And it's like you know, you just put it on and it got the lug. Shit. That shit fit perfect on the it was just a coincidence.
That shit was cold.
I had a homeboy, Mexican homeboy with some Dayton's. We had the shit already rented for the video. Right. And I said, I want it. Cause I saw the shit. Yeah. And we popped that motherfucker off and popped that motherfucker right back on it. And that's what I think that scene right there really set it off for LA. You know what I'm saying? What? Because we was known for the days. They said, who the fuck is
what? That shit was crazy, man. So that was a pivotal ingredient in establishing your point. Your point.
Chris Robinson really just the tractor, so shout out Chris Robinson, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
The song, there was a point, y'all was trying to establish a point at the time. Mm. The East Coast and the West Coast, they just went through I think Biggie was the last to get killed. Mm. So it was some acrimony and y'all did a record together. a bi-coastal record.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what was your objective, the point that y'all was trying to make with that song?
I mean, first and foremost, you know, it was after the beef and all that shit, but we had knew the Wu-Tang way before that, you know what I'm saying? So that we wasn't affected by that. We was doing shows in New York when in the middle of the beef, they just show you the love we get.
Right.
Or got, or this or that. Or whatever, but basically, like I said, the first single I was gonna come with, it was by myself and everything, but Snoop and them used that beat. I was like, I don't know how they, you know what I'm saying? That was,
Right.
Because I did my shit way before they came out with it or whatever. But, like, I'm just big on finishing with the people you started with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that goes to, like, my whole Liquid Crew family and all them, from everybody, exhibits to everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm big on finishing with the people you started with for something.
Right.
So, basically, you know, I was a fan and a friend and this and that, so they hooked up the Raekwon thing, but I thought it would make a statement to just let people know that the East and the West ain't, you know, if you ain't on that bullshit, then they just like us, but they just talk different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They real true friends and all that. And I think it went over people's heads,
Yeah.
but I think that, you know, I still eat off that record. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Was y'all in the studio together?
Nah, not that one. We did it at the same studio, but either he had to go on tour,
Yeah.
or I did.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if I heard it. No, because I had did it in the studio, and I did the whole song without nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when we thought about doing it with Raekwon, he's like, it'd be perfect for this one. Then we sent it to him with no hook
Yeah.
and a blank spot, and that's what he came with. It just,
So, of course, it was your song, so he sent his vocals back.
he did them in the same studio I did, I think.
Right. So you got a chance to hear before they constructed the song and shit. So when he goes into that rock, Eddie Bauer, rock Waller. Hey yo. Nah, he went crazy, man. He went crazy. What you got the right
He using the big
behind
words,
that. Like you my man, you kept up. I hope I'm not offending you, but it was like at the time I said that Marcus Davis introduced me to the Alkaholiks.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't familiar with the members. You know what I'm saying? So Rap Life was a music video that was that shit was on MTV at the time. That shit was on MTV. It wasn't just on the Rap City Countdown and shit. That shit was on MTV, so it was getting a lot of play. And again, we was familiar with who Raekwon was, so we listened to a motherfucking MC from California that's just going crazy. And there's a stereotypical image that's been attached to the California MC, in my opinion. When you from the East Coast, some people might look at the California MC as a nigga that's gonna have on some Dickies and some Chucks and some cornrows and shit like that. Whereas when you did Rap Life, you didn't rap like the rest of you didn't rap like MC8, you didn't rap like Ice Cube, you didn't rap like any of those guys that was out at the time and shit. You rapped like an East Coast lyricist. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't say that 'cause
is that I know niggas don't be liking to hear
the
that.
West Coast has lyricists. Y'all just ain't heard them, man.
Right.
I'm just trying to tell you, it's like people think LA has one sound, but there's so many different sounds. Like I could name a bunch of people right now that don't rap the typical. I mean, not typical, but you know, they don't. Like you would never hear them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've been rapping 20 years. Never mind, I haven't gone to it, but you know, it's like we did that on purpose, kind of. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to just be ourselves on the mic, and we grew up on all kinds of rap. We grew up on gangster rap. We grew up on East Coast shit.
Right.
We was LL Cool J fans, like Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that form was there. You know, but they called them backpackers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was like, you know, you couldn't get on the radio. You couldn't, you know, they wasn't really showing no backpack shit except BET Rap City. You know,
Right.
It wasn't on MTV. It wasn't on, you know, this and that. But we was just rapping like we knew how to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we wasn't in a gang or nothing like that, so we couldn't do that shit.
After it came out, Impact. Let's talk Impact. What was it? What type of feedback did you get for your performance on Rap Life?
Oh, it was dope. And another thing I meant to say too is that Rap Life, the reason I did it like that with Raekwon on that beat, like a club beat kind of, is because I wanted to step away from that. This is my first solo album, so if I come with a song that sound like an alcoholic song without J-Ro on it, and Swift didn't do the beat, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wanted to do something totally opposite of that, so that's why I came with, artists from the East. But then I came right back with Corrupt and Snoop and Exhibit on my next single, because I wanted to show that,
Oh, you fucking had to come with Corrupt and Exhibit and
So
Snoop
we got
after some
too.
shit like that.
We got MCs too. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
That song would be good. And I just think that, my whole, my solo shit took off from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fucking right. Fucking right. Like, I had heard, again, about the alkaholiks, and I had heard Tash. I had heard your name. Were you referred to as Tash Money?
Nah. A hell of people call me that though. Just,
I just feel that I heard that. I just heard that. I just feel that I heard that.
Because you're from Philly. Cash Money is a DJ from Philly.
Okay.
But not Tash.
All right. So how did the radio in California treat Rap Life? Did it get spins out here?
Nah, man, they didn't jump on it. I didn't understand that neither because I knew the DJs. I don't know if it was the payola or whatever they.
That was a jiggy ass record,
what was going on, but I was like, damn, they ain't even spinning their hometown hero right now. So that's why they I still kept an underground reputation, I guess.
Right.
I can still, I just kick with Sean Price a lot. These MCs.
That record meant a lot, man. That record meant a lot. That was very high profile. I mean, like, Planet Asia didn't get that opportunity. Razzcast didn't get that opportunity. Like, it was certain dudes that didn't get that. That was
Raz was cracking. I mean, Raz.
Nah, he was popping, but he didn't get
his
to trade. He didn't get to do the Run DMC shit with Raekwon. Like, y'all did the. Y'all was boogieing, man. My liquid crew, we made a killing. We got 3 albums, got the whole world dancing on the ceiling. You was killing that shit, man.
I appreciate you.
You was killing that shit. Like, what was the...
And I ain't done, by the way. You said it like this.
Nah, like hell nah. I knew you was going to feel like that when I kept talking about Rap Life, too. That shit was just... It wasn't just a musical... It didn't have just musical impact. Y'all was wearing that shit. Y'all was rocking that shit that was out at the time. So tell me about the wardrobe. Did y'all come with shit that y'all was wearing?
That's the only thing I picked out.
No doubt.
But that's what, like, let me ask you this quick. I'm going to interview you real quick.
Let's do it.
Do you think that today's, I know hip hop has fashion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that it's turning more into a fashion show than, you know what I'm saying? I know it used to be, everybody like to be fly, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think that there's a lot of emphasis being placed on materialism, but
That's
I
what
wouldn't
I mean.
call it a fashion show because all these niggas don't be getting fresh. You know what I mean? The niggas that's getting fresh is
But
y'all
I seen this.
age.
What I meant was I seen a couple of these Balenciaga,
Yeah.
all these ads. I see a couple famous artists
Yeah.
wearing some crazy shit. Like, it's throwing me off. I ain't gonna get into all that. I was just tripping because it seemed like if I got up and did a show and I did the exact same lyrics, you know what I'm saying, and I just got up there with a t-shirt, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just some Dickies, you know what I'm saying? No chains, no this, no that. And just got up there and said my shit, you would look at me a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And
Because you said Dickies. I told you the Dickies is attached to the imagery.
Right,
man.
okay.
Like, you gotta
Never
take
mind.
Dickies
No,
out.
I meant no flossy shit is what I meant.
Right.
But
Dress
then
down.
if I got up there and said the same exact shit, and I was just hella Gucci'd up and this and that, you would look at me differently then. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's some niggas.
Even though the words and the lyrics and the beats is still the same.
It's some niggas just got away with just dressing down, like, you know what I mean?
but-
KRS, Talib Kweli, some of your peers and shit, Most Def. Them niggas, Black Thought, they never did much more than,
This is my clothes I got on right here. The Victorious.
is that available?
Yeah.
go ahead and drop the information. That's pretty wavy. We probably
Live Victorious website.
Repeat it, please.
Live Victorious. www.livevictorious.com.
How long you been in the apparel business?
Really, my dude Dutz introduced me to the apparel business, and I just, went in on, certain things, and he made me co-owner of the company. And
Merch?
I'm not really a big fashion dude. I am per se,
Yeah.
but like I said, we like the Black Beastie Boys and everything. It's like I like the comfort.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just like to wear what I like to wear, and just don't let that affect the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like to stay fly too, though. I ain't gonna lie, but in my own way.
No doubt.
I just don't want to keep up with the Joneses. Like every belt I wear ain't gotta be a Gucci belt, and you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta have on all this. I just think your character should speak for itself. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think you should be able to walk in without a chain. Just walk in with your face and your name.
Powerful. That's what it is.
But that's just me.
Especially, but you got to be spitting that shit. You can't. You will never be able to get away with that.
Exactly.
You ain't spitting that shit. Yeah, you better be spitting that shit.
Yeah.
You can get away with it spitting that shit.
That's right.
So after the Rap Life, what was that? That was a single, or that was on an album?
Yeah, I got an album called Rap Life. I got a lot of heavy hitters on there too. Everybody say, matter of fact, we can go into that in a minute, but I got a show coming out called Underrated that I'm the host of.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna put the spotlight on all the underrated. It could be anything that's underrated, from athletes to singers to, of course, rappers, the taco stands,
Right?
And just all kinds of shit. But this whole trip of my career, which is 30 years and counting, I've always got that tag, underrated. You're so underrated. And I never figured out the piece to the puzzle. Why? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, I just think that I'm getting the most love now that I've got my whole shit because, I stopped drinking 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I just want to, suggest.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And I suggest to anybody out there with a problem, you know what I'm saying, that we was the alcoholics for like 29 years.
So it became a problem.
Yeah, because that's why I had to quit, because it was definitely affecting my life. You know what I'm saying?
The career?
Yeah. No, not my career, because that was the easy part. You know what I'm saying? I was just partying my life, like partying my.
As far as to, I don't know, like when you were on Loud Records, your marketing and promotion probably fell upon Loud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all you need is an Instagram page, a .com, and it's up, and stay active. How you feel about the independence and how lucrative it has became for artists?
I mean, it's dope. I'm more from the hands-on era. You know what I'm saying? Like go to the mom and pop stores and shit like that.
They selling a lot of vinyls and shit like that now.
Yeah, that's how I hear vinyls are back and this and that.
Yeah.
But I just think that it's dope. But I used to, like, we used to rap back in the days, it used to feel special. You know what I'm saying? Everybody raps now.
Yeah.
And everybody has an opportunity to get you know what I mean?
Right.
This and that. So it's a lot more. I mean, I don't even consider it competition. It's just, you got to really find your niche of who really fuck with you.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1,000 fans, but as long as they loyal fans, they gonna buy your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can put out, whatever to them, and they're gonna support you. So that's the good part about it. Like I said, I haven't mastered getting to the bag yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I made my chips.
You gotta be visible, and you gotta be spitting that shit.
Exactly.
I seen the music video you did with Jay Worthy. Shout out to Jay Worthy.
Yeah, shout out Jay Worthy.
So you currently shooting.
yeah.
Tell me how that came together. It's a dope record, by the way.
Jay Worthy, I think how it go. He just called me. He just hit me up. He was like, "What's up, man? I want to get you on the track."
Yeah.
And I think it. I don't know if it has something to do with the 50-year hip hop or not.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna be, because you seem like you in the dark about it. There's a new body of hip hop, and they are fueling the hip hop and the creative energy in hip hop. And it started on the East Coast, right? And they call this production that these niggas was rapping off, lo-fi or some shit like that. And I don't know, I think they was explaining to me that they be rapping on music and they don't mix it or some shit like that. But
Right. I know about that.
all right, so these niggas is, I'm gonna give you their names. Hus Kingpin, Smooth, Rome Streets, Jamal Gasol. It's more, man. I hope I'm not, because I know Jay Worthy is one of them. Jay Worthy is one of them. El Camino. Knowledge the Pirate, Rock Marcy. You hearing these names?
Shout out Rock Marcy.
Rock, you hearing these names now? They say that Rock Marcy is 100% responsible for this. What's going on right now?
You got to include Alchemist too.
You naming these people, you've worked with these people, but I'm just telling you that your peers, they've rediscovered their dribble. They've made it where you don't have to change. You know how maybe your generation watched music turn into a few different things, auto-tune and do trends. Music went through trends. And y'all might have said to yourself, well, what we doing ain't popping no more. It's not lucrative anymore. Y'all might have thought that or embraced that idea, but it's not. You don't have to change. You can be the same Tash from the 1990s because that's what they want. That sound, that lyricism and all of that. Everything that you've already been immersed in this shit. But those people that I named, they are 100% responsible for everything that's going on. You're gonna hear those names more. You're gonna hear as you continue this journey, you know what I'm saying, coming back. And I'll tell you something that they also did that's never happened before. Griselda's a part of this shit too. West Side Gun and Conway and all of those guys. And I believe they are responsible for, they the first ones that did it. I seen it for myself. They, when them niggas got on, them niggas went and got a bunch of old niggas to do features with. The niggas that they looked up to, or, you know what I'm saying? Like in 2023, who the fuck would have thought a nigga that's in 25 wanted to go get a Coogee Rap feature? But they all doing this shit now. But Griselda started it, and 38 Special, like they fucking with y'all. Like they fucking with y'all. For a nigga to want to do a record with a Cormega or a Tash, and this is what's going on, my nigga. I bullshit you not.
And the funny part is that we fuck with them too. You know what I'm saying? Conway, shout out Chase Infinite. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We fuck with them too. Like that's the closest we gonna get to that. It's certain ingredients that go with the real shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they got that shit. I love that shit. You know.
The merchandising and everything that you see, right? Everybody got a chance to watch West Side Gun make all that goddamn money, man. Selling sweatshirts and hoodies and shit. Like, a lot of this shit happened during the pandemic and shit. The pandemic brought out the best in, a lot of us and shit. And all of those guys that I mentioned, the opioid era, they're independent artists. And them the niggas that's selling the vinyl. Everybody that I named to you in the last 10 minutes, all of them niggas got vinyl. And they selling them like a motherfucker overseas. It's a huge market overseas. Seriously and shit. So you could even go back and, your old library, go make sure that them shits is vinyl accessible in 2023.
That's all I say. You read my mind, you know what I'm saying? That's already a bucket list, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we worked on that.
Besides Jay Worthy, what's something else that you've been doing currently?
Man, I got my hands in some cookie jars, man. I got an artist by the name of Junior Boy out of Dallas, Texas. That I'm, you might as well say I'm managing. You know what I'm saying? It just fell in my lap really, but he just dropped a song with I'm tripping right now, dude.
Roddy Ricch.
With Roddy Ricch, dude. I'm sitting there tripping, dude. Junior Boy just dropped a record with Roddy Ricch and everything that's doing good. Shout out to Corrupt. He signed with Corrupt on Pentagon Records.
Okay.
So I've been bouncing around the country with him. I've been doing skits with my man over here, Tone and Leah. You heard Tone and Leah?
I'm a big fan of Tone. We're going to speak to him in just a minute.
So, he's schooling me on this internet game and everything. But shout out to Tone. But I got a whole bunch of shit going on. I got a Smokeaholics brand weed.
Yeah.
The Alkaholiks, we have a beer coming out January 28th. So we're throwing this big launch party downtown LA. If you're in town, man, you got to come through. Matter of fact, we got Evidence performing at that.
Right.
Book Evidence, King T, Alkaholiks, of course.
Do you know we still live in the greatest country in the world? All of those commodities that you mentioned, do you know that you could throw a fucking rap show and put all of that shit on a fucking table and sell all of that shit?
Not to mention Underrated. Underrated is my TV show. I got my hands in a lot of cooking joints. And if you think about it, it all stems from the music. You know what I'm saying? It all stems from the music. I got a new album called Wasted coming out. It's going to be called Wasted. That's going to get your attention. Then next to it, in little parentheses, it's going to say time. Wasted time. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
But people saying since I, sobered up or whatever you want to say, it's just my best work. So I look forward to seeing what people do with it.
I see you did a Drink Champs episode. I checked it out.
Yeah.
Was there any type of pressure there with the alcohol being present?
Nah.
I seen you rapped about on Jay Word. You said, I went to Drink Champs, nigga, and then take a sip. You said, some more slick shit like that.
Yeah, nah, but the whole thing is, man, you just got to get it out the system initially. You know what I'm saying? I've been drinking for so long that it was just part of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's in that, you just cut that out. And, it's going to be some parties at first. You're going to be looking around like, damn, they having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, it ain't an option for me no more. I got kids and, this and that. So that, nah.
Is the Alkaholiks still a crew?
Yeah, we got like I said, when we dropped this beer, the plan is I don't know who did it before, but I hope it's revolutionary. We're gonna put this QR code on the back of the beer cans or bottles or cases, whatever.
Right.
And you're gonna be able to scan your phone and get our new music off of that.
Ain't that a bitch?
So
I told you,
and we
shit
making party music, so all you gotta do is buy a case and throw it on.
Right. Ain't that a bitch, man?
Yeah,
Commerce.
I got some pictures of the whole layout, but yeah, January 28th, man, we have to fly you in for that one.
Right. I'm elated at that, man. Like, I only had, I think, 1 or 2 jobs ever in life. I'm 47. Really, probably 1 or 2 jobs and shit. But thanks to this culture of hip-hop and shit, I'm able to, independently make a living and shit, especially with that merchandise. The merchandising game, it's time to bring it all out.
Yeah, I got a website coming. You're going to be able to get all my shit on one website. You know what I mean? From the music to the tash trays. I'm going to have tash trays. It's an ashtray with my face on it.
Right.
It's all that, man. It's coming. It's coming.
Is there, how you feel about ageism in hip-hop? I know that you addressed it on the Jay Worthy record. You said something about Nifty at 50 or something like that. Still niggas giving word?
Yeah, I'm over 50 years old, and I look at it like, you know what I'm saying? Basically, man, when God put you here to do something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel weak or lesser or, older or nothing like that. I just feel like, when we get done with this, I'm gonna play you my new shit. You know what I'm saying? Then you tell me, you know what I'm saying? But if God give you a gift, you're supposed to use it. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like I just make my shit now for the people that want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be the biggest pop star and all this other shit. I just want to get my hardcore initial, motherfuckers that like to bump my shit, you know what I'm saying, and this and that. And like I said, I branched off in so much other shit now that the music is a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would look stupid selling clothes if music wasn't a part of the, you know what I'm saying, the brand.
Right.
So I got commercials coming out, like hard-ass commercials, though, with the shit on and all this.
Let me ask you a question. Were you comfortable becoming the face of the Alkaholiks Like Yuck Mouth is in a similar situation. I asked him about that. I
So,
mean,
like,
even though
Yuck
it's
too.
shout out to my nigga Yuck. Even though it's only 2 of them, but if someone, that's just the general perception that you do the face of the alcoholics.
I mean, if that's what they want to say, that's cool. But I'm not. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't by choice. It's just, you know, my cousin E Swift. He the head sound manager of the hotels, the big ass concerts like Celine Dion and WrestleMania and all this shit.
Right.
So he pretty much he got a job. Like he the head of this shit. So he ain't just sitting around being a musician no more. You know what I'm saying?
Once niggas get straight, they like, fuck the music, huh?
Right. I mean, I don't know what you call it. But then J-Roll, that's the other part. He moved to Arizona, but he just had a new baby, and he got another one on the way the day of the of the beer launch and everything. So
Okay.
he out there doing it. He just laying low, just, you know, take care of family and doing his thing. So I'm the one that's out there, you know, still yelling it. But, you know, but like I said, I got a solo album coming out. So until the alcohol, we gonna put the alcoholics music on the beer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we stay doing shows. And, you know what I'm saying? That don't go nowhere. Every year we stay booked. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man, it's time for a solo album. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm focusing on right now. You know, getting this beer off the ground.
How many projects did the alcoholics do?
Including all the mixtapes and shit.
Yeah.
I never counted, but we did